My name is Nick Allaga. I'm with a company called CyberNINES. We are a cybersecurity consulting firm that's actually based out of Wisconsin, but we're expanding here onto the West Coast. We right now are primarily focused on companies, manufacturing companies, other companies that are working with DoD contractors, subcontractors, all that, anybody that's in the defense industrial base. A little bit about myself. I'm a retired Navy captain, about 26 years combined with active duty Navy and reserves. I'm a local guy, born and raised in Watsonville, got my degree from San Jose State, then went off and flew for the Navy. After I saw the world, I realized no better place to be than right back here in the Santa Cruz area. So here I am. Worked at Plantronics for about 20 years in the supply chain world. Did a little bit of contract manufacturing time, a little bit of startup time. And then my buddy who actually started CyberNINES from the Navy, he called me up and said, hey, how would you like to expand our operation onto the East or West Coast? So here I am. So why am I here tonight? Why don't we go to the next slide? So why is CyberNINES here? And I'm going to do it from about a 30,000 foot view because we've only got a few minutes. But if you take a look at these two pictures, I'm sure your first impression is that the one on the left is our F-35 stealth fighter, and the one on the right is a Humvee. Well, the truth of the matter is both of those are Chinese products. And you might be wondering, well, you know, you've seen it before. How did they do this? Well, it's basically cybercrime. And the cyber world has pretty much been identified as the new battlefront. So the DoD and the federal government are taking steps to kind of institute, you know, some kind of standards on this battlefront. And we're here to help. So if in your business plan, anywhere down the road, you intend to work with DoD directly or as a subcontractor, maybe 1, 2, 3 tiers down in the supply chain, this is going to be something for you guys tonight. So, okay, why don't we go to the next slide? So you might say, well, isn't all that information that they got to build that fighter or that Humvee, isn't that classified information? Well, the truth is, no, it's mostly what we call controlled unclassified information. The DoD puts a lot of this stuff out, and controlled unclassified information is basically information that we can read it here that the government creates or is created on behalf of the government where it's protected. So the government will tell you what you're looking at right now is controlled unclassified information. And the reason they call it unclassified is because it's not confidential, it's not secret, it's not top secret. You do not need to have a clearance to see it. And that helps us with any kind of our technological development or anything like that to put it out there. So what are we doing to protect it? Well, there's some history behind that. So why don't we go to the next slide? In June 2015, the Office of Personnel Management had a breach. Now, the Office of Personnel Management is a place where it stores a lot of records for guys like me who are saying, hey, I need a security clearance or anything like that. Well, they got in there and they got all this information. So the federal government said, we need to come up with some kind of cybersecurity standards in order to protect this. So they went to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and they came up with this thing called the SP 800-171, which is about 110 controls that say, these are the standards that we want to do. So after SP 800-171 was developed, then the Defense Department came up with what's called a DFAR, which is a Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation that said, if you're going to do business with us on your purchase order, it's going to say that you have to be in compliance with 800-171. And so they said to the subcontractors, hey guys, just go out and self-attest and we're cool. So we did that. We cruised along fat, dumb, and happy for a few years. And then the Department of Defense went in and audited a nice sampling of the subcontractors and found out that only about 20% of them were actually compliant. So now we're into a situation where you can't self-attest. You actually have to have a third party come in and do an assessment of you. So A lot of these companies, we have about 300,000 companies in the defense industrial base. About 80,000 of them are going to have to be compliant to this. It's probably going to grow from there. States are looking at doing it, Department of Homeland Defense or Homeland Security, NASA. So let's go to the next slide. And let's take it to the next slide. So what you're going to look for from somebody like us, if you are going to go down this road, is somebody to help you become 800-171 compliant. We can come in, do an assessment for you, put together a readiness plan, any of that. Again, if you're ever planning on doing business with the government, especially the DoD, you're going to need to get this certification. So I'm almost out of time here. Let's go to the next slide. If you have any questions about this, if you are planning on doing business with the DoD especially, why don't you either send me an email there at nalaga@cybernines.com, or give me a call or text me, and we're super happy to start helping you guys get through this so that when you are ready to do business with the government, you're not running into any obstacles or anything like that. Okay, that's good for me. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody else.
And there's a lot of business that and a lot of companies that kick off startups that can actually get a lot of business and money and funding from the government. So this is, you got to start with having everything in place. We also have work with Innovation Within that can help you, a couple different companies in CMTC that can actually help you with this. So if you are looking for funding and projects that are related to the US government, doesn't have to be military, it can be related to pandemic and you name it,